Okay, hello everyone. Welcome back to my channel. Hello. Oh my god, okay. So I thought I would film a little favorites video. I haven't filmed a favorites video in a while. My favorites videos are typically really sporadic and intermittent, but I've had a whole bunch of new favorites recently since my last video, where I think a lot of these actually won't be repeating, so I'm very excited about that. Normally I don't have like a ton of new favorites all the time because I don't typically have like that much new makeup coming in where I can change my favorites so much, and honestly my tried and trues are like typically always my tried and trues. But anyway, let's just get into it. I don't have a ton, but I feel like I have the exact perfect amount to talk about. Okay, let's just start with base. This might have been in my last favorites video after I just said that, I'm not sure. The Wet n Wild Glass Correct Primer has become everything to me. It is stunningly beautiful. It's so high quality and so affordable at the same time. I know that this comes in a green version. Obviously I have like the brightening yellow version, but it doesn't make my skin look yellow or anything. It doesn't have really that much of a tint, but it truly is like a glass skin in a primer, but it doesn't make my skin feel greasy or oily throughout the day because I do have oily skin. It makes any foundation look beautiful over the top of it. It just makes it look dewy and glowy and hydrated, and you can pair like the mattest of matte foundations with this and it just glides over your skin, and it's honestly such a beautiful product for anyone. If you have dry skin, I feel like you'll love this. Even if you have oily skin and you're scared of being greasy, I don't find that this makes me greasy. It just is a beautiful, beautiful base for makeup. I would encourage everyone, if you're in need of a new primer, check it out, okay? Because it's so, so good. Another base product, this is actually old, but I've rediscovered it and I'm in love. Specifically this combination, the Maybelline Superstay Foundation with this Wet n Wild primer is a match made in heaven. I have always loved this foundation. It's very specific though. If you don't like full coverage, long wearing matte foundations, you won't like this. And it is quite like a thicker foundation. It's a little bit heavier because it is so long wearing, so I haven't been reaching for it as much. But I went actually to Osheaga, it's a festival in Montreal recently, and I knew that I needed a foundation that was gonna last me, and this is my foundation of choice whenever I need something to last a long time on my skin. And I paired it with this, and I just used it with a brush little by little, working in sections, and it was beautiful. It didn't feel overly heavy, it didn't feel cakey or thick. It just went on beautifully, and then also lasted forever. Forever. And that's the beauty of this foundation. It will literally last through anything. And in the process of applying for jobs and potentially having to think about going back to work in an office setting, like 9 to 5 type of thing, I have to think about, again, having makeup that's going to last and that I don't have to think about. And I honestly feel like this would become my everyday foundation with a really hydrated base. It's so pretty, and I have fallen head over heels back in love with this. And this is new to me. I haven't used it that much, but I've really, really loved it. This is new. This is a Maybelline Superstay Activewear Concealer. This is expensive. It's $17 for a drugstore concealer, which is honestly fuck. That's too expensive. I get inflation, but fuck that shit. Maybelline has enough fucking money to not have a $17 concealer. Anyway, I got this on sale and I needed a new concealer, and it's really nice. I actually think it's a really good pairing with the Superstay foundation because it's not super heavy. It's very light in texture. It blends out really. Okay, my camera. Okay, hold on. Okay, I just had to delete some stuff off my camera, and it's thunderstorming outside, so if you can hear the sensual sounds of rain and thunder, enjoy that, I guess, or don't. I don't know. Anyway, I can't remember where I left off talking about the Super Stay Concealer, but basically, I really like it. I think it's really versatile no matter your base preference, even if you like something lighter coverage, more of a skin tint type of product. This is thin enough and light enough that I think, in terms of like consistency, not shade, that I think it would be really, that I think it would work with a lighter base product, as well as obviously I like a full beat. I like a pretty perfected base, so it works for me as well. Another base product that I've loved is the Fenty Beauty Matchstick in Amber. It is perfection to me. It is so beautiful. It's almost like a cream to powder in the way that it performs, because it's not super dewy at all, which I think for a contour product is ideal, really. It's the perfect shade as well. It's not straight up gray. I've already swatched it, but it's not straight up gray, but it's not super warm, so it legitimately looks like a contour shade, but it also, like, it's not too gray. You can see it here, like, it's just perfection. It performs well, I find. It's so, like, ambiance. Anyway, I find that it performs well just directly applied to the skin and blended out, or using a brush and putting it on your skin. I typically do a mix of both. I know it didn't have a ton of great reviews when it first launched, but I think it's honestly perfect. To me, it's like perfect contour product, frankly. Like, I wouldn't change anything about it. And I know that they just recently expanded their like contour range in the matchsticks, I believe, which is always great as well. Another general category and also specific products, cream blush, I have been loving. I've talked about this so much recently, but truly it has been, within the past couple months, such a favorite of mine, and something that I really did not like before, and I've become a convert to cream blush specifically. I love the layering aspect of it. I like having that base, like that cream base of color down, and then layering a powder blush over top. I feel like it gives me endless options for my blush shades to have that like layering aspect. And I feel like it lasts longer as well, having those layers. I don't have to sit there and like build my powder blushes up. It's just so great. And I love the tactile aspect of it as well. I've talked about this before, but I just love the process of like putting your fingers in a cream and then applying it and blending it out in your face. I just find it so satisfying texturally. But anyway, so honestly, I talked about recently the cream blushes that I bought from Sephora using a gift card. All of these are favorites, but I will focus on two specifically. But the LYS Higher Standard Satin Matte Cream Blush, I have the shade Kindness. This is such a beautiful, just great peachy shade. Here, I'll swatch them all. I think if you don't like a dewy product, this is perfect for you, because it does have like a cream to powder finish as well, and it's so pretty. I love it. I really want to try more shades of this. They have a really, really beautiful shade range. The Melt Cream Blushlight in the shade Honey Thief. Someone commented on a video and said that perhaps Melt reformulated their cream blushes, because I really like them, but I know a lot of people didn't necessarily get along with it. This is a beautiful light corally shade, perfect for summer, and it's very thin. It's very, very thin. If you don't like an overly dewy or tacky, thicker blush, this is really beautiful, but I don't know. I know a lot of people didn't get along with it. I personally haven't had any issues. The Milk Makeup Cream Cheek. This is such a beautiful color. I haven't used it that much, but I'm so excited to. It's so pretty. It's such a pretty like red pink, but I've used it and it's actually blends out beautifully and it's not as intimidating as it looks, but you also can build it up. So if you had a deeper complexion, I think you would be able to build this up very nicely, but it's just such a beautiful flushed brightening shade that again isn't overly tacky or dewy. It's a very nice just like satin skin-like texture. And again, Milk has a ton of beautiful shades in their lip and cheek range, but specifically these two products have been my absolute favorites. The Tower 28 Beach Please Luminous Tinted Balm in the shade Magic Hour has become one of my most used blush products recently. I thought actually that I would not like this product because it is thicker, it definitely is dewier, and has a dewy finish for sure. Like if you don't like to set your face and you don't like a dewy cream blush, do not get this. But I find that once I set it, it doesn't get like greasy or oily or anything like that. And even here it looks, I don't know, like a little bit pinker, but on the skin I find that it just is the most beautiful like light rosy pinky with a bit of brown shade that goes with pretty much anything. And it is beautiful. It blends like a dream. It just sinks into your skin. I love it and I cannot wait. I really, really want to get more shades. And I've also been loving the Fenty Beauty Cream blush in the shade Rosé Latte. This was inspired or influenced, I guess, by Kat Revell on YouTube. I know she and Instagram talks about this a lot. I mean, I'm obsessed with her, so I'm like, yes, I will buy that. But it's different than I thought it was going to be, but I really love it. I've been loving this with greens and blues. For me, it's a little bit deeper. But it's such a beautiful like sunburnt color that it's, oh, I've been loving using this. Not as dewy as the Tower 28 Balm blush. Again, more of like a skin like texture, and I know that this formula is not necessarily loved by everyone. I have found it really buildable and really nice, but I don't know, maybe check out other people's reviews or thoughts on these because I know that not everyone loves them, but I have really, really loved this formula and this shade. These two shades have been my faves. And also, I have some blushes from e.l.f. that are powder blushes that I have been obsessed with. Let's just start with the best one. This has blown me away, truly blown me away. The e.l.f. Primer-Infused blush. This is in the shade Always Rosy. I know that the Primer-Infused blushes have been talked about for a while, like it was years ago when they came out and people raved about them, but I was shocked when I initially put this on, and every single time I wear this, I'm like, this is such a fucking good blush. It's pigmented, but it blends so beautifully. It's smooth. It just, oh, and I mean, that looks like nothing. Even the shade is such a nice, like, brownie rose color, and I know it comes in deeper shades, I believe. If you have the chance to try these, they are that good. Like, it's one of the best blush formulas I've ever tried. It compares to, don't tell anyone, but it does compare to my Pat McGrath blushes. Okay? I love it. I love this blush. It's so good. Doesn't fade, doesn't get patchy, blends like an absolute dream. It's so good, you guys. It's chef's kiss times 1,000. And then these two shades in the bite-sized blush range from e.l.f. have been just like, again, summer, really quick. I've been using these with really quick looks when I just want a little bit of color, but I don't, and I want it just to go with like neutral or kind of any look. These shades Lychee and Spiced Apple have been faves. I just use these as like one blush. I just kind of, I just rub them together blend them together. You know what I mean. But this is the shade Lychee, which is again kind of like a brownier rosy, like a rosy brown type of blush. And then the shade Spiced Apple is also a rosier brown type blush, maybe a little bit more on the brown side. These are horrible swatches, but anyway, I don't know, they're just such easy blushes to use. Again, they blend really well. They're really affordable, and they're just like nice glowy blushes, but you also could use them as matte. That just, these shades specifically are just such beautiful. You don't have to think about it. They go with everything type of deal, and I know they have a ton of different shades. I actually own all of them, so I do know that they have a ton of different shades, and they are stunning. So no matter what your blush preference, I feel like you'll be able to find a shade for you in this range. Okay, so I just swatched them better. This top one is Lychee, and then this one is Spiced Apple. So they've definitely been faves as well. And now moving on to eyeshadow. I have 3 eye products. One, let's just do this single shadow. Actually, they're all from Colourpop. Oh no, that's a lie. I also, well, just, okay. Okay. Hold it together. In general, I've been so loving my singles recently. I've just been in a singles space the past couple of months as well, using specifically my TerraMoons shadows, which I do have 2 videos, I believe, using these in looks, and then I also have an updated TerraMoons collection. I'll link those down below if you want to check those out. And then my Clionadh shades. I'm in the process of filming another Clionadh video, and I have done a 10 looks, 1 video using Clionadh, but I've just been so in love with my singles and using them and loving them. They're so special. And I don't know, it's just been fun to just focus on my shiny, shifty, sparkly eyeshadows. And I also have been loving more iridescent shades, which I have not in the past always loved or really been interested in, but I've been so into them as layering over black bases, using them in my inner corners. So these are my 4 iridescent multi-chromes from TerraMoons. Why not just swatch them? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, they're so pretty. They're hard to see, but like just on bare skin. This is Red Giant. This is Phoenix. This is Light Year. And this is Space Baby. Oh my god, like just look at them. How beautiful is that? Oh my, like just, yeah, you're not going to be able to see them that well, but they're so, to me, they're just fucking stunning. Let me also shout out some ShinebySD shades that I have as I knock over everything. Some ShinebySD shades that I've been loving for my inner corners or just in general. So I have an affiliate code with ShinebySD. If you didn't know, it's Laura Clark Makeup. It saves you 10% off. And I have been loving specifically these 3 shades from the Dynasty, no, not the Dynasty collection, the As Above, So Below Divinity collection. That is in collaboration with Monica Jones and Bizarre Volta, M Jones 5018 and Bizarre Volta on Instagram. Anyway, the shades Hermetic. This, oh, it's such a beautiful like iridescent, very similar to Red Giant, but a little bit more sparkly, pink, red, gold shade. It's beautiful by itself in the inner corner, topped over shadows. The shade Mountain Magic as well is just stunning. It's like a red, purple, pink, green. Ugh, and all of ShinebySD's shades are so sparkly and so beautiful. And then also the shade Soothsayer. It's like a green, lilac, blue, pink. Ugh, honestly, anything from ShinebySD you will not be disappointed by, but these have been my most recent faves, and they actually sent me 2 of their like kind of iridescent type shades. One's in my inner corner today. This is the shade Twilight. This is like a blue purple pink. And then I also have the shade Dreamy, which is more of like a pinky blue, more pink than, yeah, pink and blue. So I've been loving these as well for my inner corners. These are just magical, and in general, iridescent, like sparkly shades on my inner corners have been a recent fave, which doesn't, it sounds a little bit weird, but it's just not something that I was ever interested even in really before. Now that I've kind of started to use them more, I've never looked back, honestly. And then the other eye products that I have been loving are from Colourpop. So this is the Super Shock Shadow in a little Quirky. I have some other ones. I have Ritz, which I know is very popular as well, but this is so special. It is so beautiful. It's beautiful just as like a standalone shadow. It's beautiful. Topped over shadows. It has a very like wet look to the lids, and it has a little bit more of a base than Ritz does, but I find that that works really well. Topped over shadows and by itself, it just gives it, I don't know, there's just like a je ne sais quoi, if you will, about this shade that I love. And I honestly find that the base makes it a little bit more versatile as a topper and as a like its own shade. I don't know, I just think that it gives such a beautiful wet look to the lid, and I've been loving it. And 2 palettes actually. This is what I'm wearing today, the High Tide palette. I've just been so in love with. I think it's just a beautiful little monochromatic teal palette that blends beautifully. I've used mostly the mattes in here. The metallics are all right, but this shade Lunar, this dark teal, makes the palette for me. And like, just look at the way that's swatched. It's so pretty. And I love that it has the perfect range of depths. I don't have to grab for a deeper shade or a lighter shade. And it's so, so beautiful. Oh, also, by the way, the shade that I'm wearing on my lids is Clionadh Chandelier, if you were wondering. And then also, I have only used one shade from this palette, the Orchid You Not, but it is perfection. I have swatched it, but the shade Nuh-Uh is everything to me. I'm always looking for a dark purple that is good, and I always struggle to find them and have like good dark purple shades, and this is just the perfect grapey deep purple matte that blends, it builds, it doesn't get patchy, it's just perfect. And I know that I'm going to continue to reach for this palette all of the time for that one specific shade. I could see myself panning that shade, honestly, to be quite frank. And then I have glosses on glosses on glosses, okay? So let's do 2 lip oils. These are the Merit tinted lip oils. I have 2 of these. Merit did send these to me, but I have been using these nonstop. I love them so much. This shade is Bel Air. It's just clear. It's so good, okay? Just focusing on this as a single product, it's such a nice hydrating lip oil that doesn't, sometimes with lip oils I find that they can be like too thin and they just immediately disappear and almost make your lips feel more dry. This is perfect in that it's not super glossy, so it doesn't look like you're wearing like a clear super shiny lip gloss, which I like because I find that it's a little bit, I don't know, I just prefer it if I'm not wearing makeup to have something that's not so intensely shiny, but it still looks hydrating, and it just is the perfect level of hydration. It's not gloopy, it's not too thick, but it just hydrates your lips. It almost makes them just look like glowy and healthy. I don't know. And then this is the lip oil in Taupe from Merit as well. This is the perfect just throw on shade for me. And even this is like deceiving because it's not that deep, but it just, again, is like a glowy formula almost, that if I'm having a natural makeup day or I'm doing like a more natural makeup, like I've been doing a lot of job interviews recently and this has been the only thing I've worn, I put a little bit of Endless Cacao like in the center of my lips, blend it out so it's basically not there, and then put this on, and it just makes your lips look hydrated and healthy, but it doesn't look like a gloss, which I also like because it's not like, oh, you put a lip gloss on. It's just like you have nice hydrated lips it's not overly pigmented, so it doesn't look like a thick, like glossy product. I don't know, it's just so nice. They're so pricey for a lip oil. They're $30 Canadian, I'm pretty sure, but honestly I would repurchase both of these with my own money, 100%. This especially is going to be an absolute staple in my collection, 100%. This is a little sample, but I've been head over heels in love with this. This is the Rare Beauty, I think it's called the Glossy Lip Balm or something. It's in the shade Nearly Neutral. I love it. I didn't expect to love this as much as I do, but I love it. It's like a rosy, again, brownie light shade, and I find it's right here, and this is almost more of like a lip gloss look than the Merit lip oil, but this is, first of all, it's like the perfect, again, color for every look. I feel maybe I wouldn't wear it with like this look, like with blues and greens, but purples, pinks, and neutrals. Oh, it's such a perfect color and it looks so beautiful on the lips. Kind of like a lip gloss, but maybe not as quite as shiny as a lip gloss, but it feels so hydrating and so nourishing, and it's easy because it's not super pigmented, so it's easy to just throw on and not worry about it clashing. It's good for like full glam or just everyday, you know, kind of looks, and I really want to buy a full size of this product. I think I will use it so much. And then I have some lip glosses, but more specifically in combination with this lip liner. So this lip liner, this Colourpop Lippy Pencil in the shade Ashton, is divine. It's what I'm wearing today as my lip liner, and this is like, I think of it as like Makeup Forever Endless Cacao Light, because it's not quite as deep as Endless Cacao, but it's still a neutral kind of taupey brown. So it's like a contouring shade almost, but it's really creamy, so it blends out beautifully, and it doesn't look quite as deep as Endless Cacao does. So I don't know, I just find it so versatile, and it goes, whatever. And it goes with like every lip product you could ever dream of. My specific favorite combination has been this with the Colourpop Luxe Gloss in Glacier. I'm now realizing that perhaps this is not helpful because I'm pretty sure you can't get this lip gloss anymore. But honestly, I don't really love this formula. It's fine. Like, I'm not out here hating it. Like, I'm not, you know, I like the color of it. It's just a little bit gloopy for me. It's a little bit thick, a little bit stringy, a little bit gloopy. I wouldn't go out of my way to buy any more Colourpop Luxe glosses, but this lip gloss color is beautiful because it almost has like a beiginess to it, because I don't know what it is. I think like, I don't know if it's the actual base of the lip gloss that has like a slight tint, or if it's just this color of the sparkle, but it's not just like a clear lip gloss with like silver sparkle. There's a beiginess, so it's not as almost dark, I want to say, but it still looks super glossy and super shiny, and I really love these two in combination with each other. But again, I guess it's very not helpful because it's gone. But anyway, I'm also pretty sure this is gone, but I really just in general like the formula of this. This is the Colourpop Plumping So Juicy Plumping Gloss. This is from the Lizzie McGuire collection. It's in the shade Lizzie. It's basically just a clear gloss with like orange sparkle almost, but I really like just the general formula of this lip gloss. I would honestly want to get more. I really actually am not a huge fan of this squeezy tube applicator, just because I just prefer a doe foot every time. But is there anything there? No. But it's just a really beautiful plumping gloss that does have a slight plumping effect. It's more minty than anything, but it again just looks really beautiful, really shiny on the lips, and like look at that. Look how shiny that is. I really want to get more shades of this. I've been loving it, honestly, so much. And again, in combination with this lip liner, it's beautiful. Okay, don't get me wrong though, this will never replace Endless Cacao, okay? Endless Cacao will always be my #1 lip product, but this is a very nice alternative, maybe, that's more affordable, cheaper. And then finally, the last product of this video is the e.l.f. Lip Plumping Gloss, specifically in the shade Peach Bellini. Now, first of all, love the shade name because peach bellinis, first of all, are just delicious. And now I always just think of Teresa Giudice from Real Housewives of New Jersey when she was trying to make her own Bellini line. And forever, I will always think of her when I hear the word Bellini. But besides that, I love this color. I like the lip plumping glosses in general from e.l.f. They are nice. I have the minty one on right now. They're not the most glossy gloss in the world. I do like the plumping effect of them. They are a little bit sticky. Like, they're not my favorite gloss formula I've ever tried, but they're fine. You know, they're fine. But this specific shade is so nice. I love how pale and milky it is. It has become my new favorite nude gloss. I'm just going rogue with the swatches here, but it's just like a very specific desire. This is going to be very specific for my pale, you know, friends out here. But if you're looking for a really nice, pale, milky gloss, I love this. I love it. Ugh, it's so nice. It's very difficult for me to find like nude lip products that are very nude. And this is just everything. It's everything. I love a milky gloss. Honestly, I really do. And this is a beautiful one. And I love a plumping gloss as well. So it's honestly a match made in heaven. Okay, and this favorites video has now come to its end. Hopefully this wasn't too long, but these are just products that I really have been loving recently, and I feel like I haven't had a chance to talk about them all in one video in one place. I will link or list everything down below in the description box if you were interested or missed anything. And I would love also to know what you've been loving recently. What are your favorites? Because I'm always trying to find more great makeup. I mean, who isn't, really? Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate it. And I upload 3 videos a week, typically, unless something goes wrong in my life. If you want to stick around, I would really appreciate it. And until next time, I will see you hopefully in my next video. Bye.